Let's do it.
Cool.
Let's pod.
Yeah, you're the Hawaii boys can bring us
There
in
we
today.
go.
All right.
Sneaky Hawaiian.
Right on. Yeah.
the sneaky
Undercover.
I know. I was just learning the whole story. I was like, wait, how do I not know of this guy? Or how did I not know?
Well, what's the age difference between you guys?
I'm 27.
33. So
Okay.
6 years?
Yeah.
Big enough.
Yeah. I mean, especially because I like moved away and never really moved back full time.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I only moved out to Hawaii my sophomore year of high school, but I was there like every summer before that for a really long time. So
Okay.
I wasn't like fully enveloped with everybody.
Where'd you grow up though?
Utah. So
Okay.
like Utah until
Yeah, let's hear it from the beginning. Just give us a little breakdown here.
yeah, so I was born in Utah. My dad played a bit of AVP. Was Casey Patterson tells the story all the time, but was his first qualifying partner.
Nice.
So like they were, kind of the Utah crew training out of there and
Yep.
What's your dad's name?
traveling. Dennis Roberts.
Okay.
So yeah, born there. Played basketball in Utah because there's no boys volleyball there, so I didn't play any indoor volleyball. Just learned how to play beach first, and would play only during the summers. And decided I needed to move to Hawaii so I could play volleyball. So sophomore year or freshman year, right at the summer after my freshman year, I was like, we're visiting. I'm with my mom. I'm like, Mom, can I move out here, please?
No way.
I want to play volleyball, dude. Yeah, so she let me finally, and then I moved, went to Kalaheo, graduated from Kalaheo, and played volleyball, and had the best time.
Awesome.
yeah.
I always thought you were born in Hawaii and popped around.
No, I mean like Hawaii's like home for me. So like when I on breaks and stuff, I go to Hawaii. Like
Okay.
I go, I go see all my family over there and friends
Okay.
over there, and like I go to Utah still, but
Yeah.
Hawaii is definitely home. It's,
Okay.
like I was there every summer before that, made a bunch of friends. So every time I'd go back, like my age group was like Tui Tuileta, Skyline Engelman,
Yeah.
Micah Ma. So those were all like my friends when I would go back, and we'd play beach all summer, and then I'd come back to Utah and be like, dang it, now I gotta go through winter time and
No way.
not play volleyball. Yeah. So sophomore year of high school was like the first organized indoor volleyball experience for me.
And your dad's from Hawaii or mom or
No, so my dad
What's the connection there?
My dad was born in Samoa, and then they moved to California, down in San Diego, and then the family just all picked up and moved to Utah. I don't really know why. I think my grandma's sister lived there, so they just moved the whole family down.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Well, there's a huge just Polynesian
Oh, yeah.
community in Utah.
I mean, a bunch of kids come from
Vegas
Hawaii down and go to Utah.
Yeah, right.
Like there's a school, Timpview, that my cousins all went to, and kids from Kahuku like all the time just coming down there because the football program was so good.
Right,
So
yeah.
they would come play football there and do what they could. Which I mean, Kahuku's good too, but every time they'd come play the Utah teams, they'd kind of get worked a little bit.
Right.
Just a different level,
Yeah.
And so all of them would just end up moving down to Utah.
Huh. And you did the opposite for volleyball.
Oh yeah, it took off. Yeah.
You went to Hawaii to play high school just because of volleyball?
Yeah, I wanted to play. Yeah, I was like, we played. So I played a little bit in Utah. I actually played with Ben Patch.
Okay.
We were both like super young, brand new. But there's no boys, so we would play girls' high school tournaments when we were like 7th, 8th grade. Our coach was just like, it was just like a random team. He'd just sign us up for these preseason girls' high school tournaments, and we would play. And so I met Ben. Ben lived like right around the corner from me in Provo. So that was like my first volleyball experience. But then I was like, man, I want to play.
Yeah.
Like I always loved it, and I liked basketball too a lot. I still love basketball, but I just knew volleyball was like what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Sick.
And I'm just imagining you and Ben Patch playing against women indoors right now.
Oh yeah, no, it was not.
Were you guys like 14s and they were 18s?
Yeah,
or?
no, it was like high school. We were not winning all the games. There's this moment. If Ben ever hears this, it's gonna be hilarious. But we were playing, and Ben would play middle first because he was like just tall and lanky, but he was still new. We were all new, and this girl goes up, he goes to like just rip a ball, and this girl just Kong blocks him with one hand. Like,
oh my God.
she's like this far over the net, like not high at all, and just Kong blocks him, and we're dying laughing. Like he's so mad too. He's like, set me again. Sets him again, same thing. Babu. We're like, oh my gosh, dude, twice. Oh, it's so funny. But yeah, no, we were not like destroying these girls by any means. Yeah. We were just super young.
So did you like beach better than indoor?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned beach first. Like that was the first version of volleyball that I learned was beach when I was young. And so like I always loved it. I traveled with Casey and my dad to some tournaments and stuff, so I'd get to be around like the AVP, you know, you see the big ball at the tournaments, and I would just, while they would go play qualifiers, I was just running around to all the sponsor booths, just getting free T-shirts and stuff. And
I still do that.
Free
I know, right? Yeah.
free chapstick.
Yeah, just running around. I was like, dude, look at all this stuff I got. My dad's like, awesome. He's like what we do now, right? He's like, oh, cool, nice. Yeah. But yeah, I always loved it.
Did you ever play against Casey in a match?
I never played Casey.
That would have been kind of fun.
I've only played Casey in fours. We were talking about it
hilarious.
at one of the fours matches. I was like, dude, we've never played each other in like an actual AVP event, just fours. Yeah.
How old were you when you met Casey? Like, were you old enough to remember kind of who he was?
Yeah. So I like at that point, like I learned when I was really young. So I was probably like, I had to have been like 10 years old or something like that. So I was old enough. And they would always bring me on and like pepper and stuff.
Okay.
And whenever I'd go watch games, like my family tells it all the time, because I would just, like when they would take me to matches, I would literally just sit there and watch. Like I wasn't like running around with all the other kids, except for like at the big AVPs where there's like a bunch of stuff going on. But like at the regular matches or like practices, I would just sit there and watch them the whole time. Like not flinching, just like watching them play the whole time.
That's awesome.
And then I was just waiting for them to like, hey, you want a pepper? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So,
that's very cool.
I remember all of it.
It's cool just how much access a kid can get to a professional environment.
Yeah.
You know, and I know, like, if you were, because at that point they were in the qualifiers.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the D League of the AVP.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool if, you know, your parent was a D leaguer and then you just get to talk to LeBron James.
Yeah.
That's kind of the equivalent.
Yeah. Yeah. And Casey was still like, I mean, he was still raw for sure. And this was before he went back to BYU and finished out his indoor career. And then he played like a season indoors. So he was like really, really early. He was blocking full time for my dad at that point. So,
oh, that's right.
Yeah. There's like a video. It was like 2004, something like that. There's a video on YouTube of them playing like a qualifier match, and it's just Casey's the exact same person, like just screaming and yelling the whole time, right? Just getting all fired up. Yeah. And my dad's like me, just like super quiet, so it's really funny to watch.
Yeah. My favorite Casey video of all time is when him and Loomis won 2009 in somewhere in New York. Gosh.
Coney Island.
Yeah.
There it is. It's him and Loomie. And they played John and Sean Scott. Casey, he's got the blonde mohawk, and he's just screaming. And I forget who's on the mic, but someone on the mic is like, Casey better watch out because Sean will eat him.
At least they look like it,
yeah. They were just so loud.
Yeah. I mean, especially both those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Ty too, huh?
Casey's still like that at however old he is, 45. Imagine what he was like when he was 27.
Oh, I know. I played my first professional indoor contract. I was with Casey on the same team, and I was just like, what is wrong with this guy?
That was Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought he was crazy. Honestly, I think he's mellowed out more right now. Like, I don't think he wants to be mellowed out, but I think he just doesn't have the energy that he used to have.
Yeah.
Like, you can't maintain by just like screaming your head off on every point.
It takes a toll.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's why he whistles now, right? Less energy.
Yeah.
Just as loud, but it's less energy.
He needs people to know he's there.
Right, yeah.
That's like our match in Virginia Beach. It was so quiet. Everyone just had to stop celebrating.
Yeah. Everybody was dead. Yeah. We were just dying.
And that was, your third match?
That was our third match that day, yeah. Like, because our first match was supposed to be Saturday, but the lightning delay, so it gets pushed to Sunday. We play at like, 7:30, 8 a.m., and it was already burning hot at 7:30, 8 a.m., so just fully drenched in warm-ups. Yeah, that was the most tired I've been in a tournament ever.
It was tough. We played each other in the quarterfinals of Virginia Beach of the tour/qualifying series.
Right.
And it was upwards of 100. Yeah. I think it was just one of those matches where everyone, like, you hit it, like, you could bounce a ball. You're like, great. You're just saving all of your energy.
Yes. Yeah. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
There's an art. It's an art to playing in the heat for sure in terms of energy conservation. Yeah.
And there was a lot of that. I mean, Atlantic City.
Yeah, Atlantic City.
You played AC?
Yeah.
Who did you play with? Pete?
Yeah, Pete. Pete burned his feet that day, that first day. Like,
that was a battle of attrition.
So hot, and neither of us had socks. Like, I don't know. I usually always have socks in my bag, and I looked in my bag. I was like, where are my socks? And so neither of us had socks. So we bought like some socks from the tent, and I'm fairly used to it. Like Queens is so hot, right?
Yeah.
So when you play there all the time, like my feet have been used to this since I was a junior, right?
Yeah.
So like it was okay for me. Like I wore socks for a match and then took them off, but Pete's feet got super bad.
Yeah.
And so like we played Chase and Avery to get to Sunday on Saturday, and he like could barely walk, and it was just like so tough. Yeah, he's like limping around. It was tough with socks on, and it's like shells and stuff.
Yeah, that was tough. The videos from that tournament were something else. Marty Lorenz played his last match on Saturday night on his knees, just scooting around.
It was hot.
Because his feet. So everyone got blistered, but then Atlantic City is really shelly. Right. And so the shells were carving up people's blisters. Oh. And so Mike Grossell was being like carted off the beach. Jeff Samuels, Pete, Connell, Marty, JM couldn't really play our last match. I
was the tournament director.
Well, I mean, that's why they moved it to Central Florida, the Pro Series.
Oh,
because they saw all the players.
Is that why they did it?
I would imagine so.
That's a good move. I mean,
I don't know for sure, but it was
we used to play Atlantic City in between the casinos, not on the beach. Okay. And the sound was great. They probably brought it in though.
Probably. Yeah. Because that was tough.
Yeah. No, it was. We played Mike before that. Okay. And it was like, I mean, that's probably the worst I've ever beaten somebody in. I think it was like 21-6. Yeah. Like we were just like, I'm ruthless. I was like short serving it the whole time. I was like, come on, dude, you gotta run, man. For sure. Yeah.
Get up, Mikey.
Bombing jump stairs from the good side. Yeah, I was like, sorry, dude. I need to get off this court quick.
Yeah. Fast matches were valuable.
Yeah.
That score, if you go through BVB and look at the scores from that event, I think you'll see the most lopsided match scores you'll ever see in a tournament because you'll just know, all right, here's where that guy got hurt, 21-2.
Yeah. Right. Oh, for sure. It's the Hawaiian feet.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, that sand is hot there.
Oh yeah, Queens is nuts.
Yeah.
Especially
like as a junior with sand socks, like I've gotten burned there like 3 times, like with sand socks on. And so like a couple times of that, and you're good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Where else did you play in Hawaii?
It was mainly there. So when I was young, like first started going out there for all the summers, like I was a really small kid. I mean, I'm still not terribly tall, but I was small, and so I would play with the women. Like the women would let me jump in and play with them because I could play like full speed and it was fine for them. Right. Because I was so small. And then I started meeting the juniors like Tui and Micah and all them and got to play with them. But it was mainly Queens. I'd play at Outrigger sometimes, but not a whole lot. The only guys I would go there with is like Nainoa Frank. So I graduated with him. So we would go there all the time.
Oh, you graduated Kalaheo with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I would go there with him, and then some of my club teammates were also members over there. So we would go over there with them before practices or whatever it was during the summer. But yeah, it was mainly Queens, like all the time.
Yeah. Queens is nice. Deep sand. But
deep, yeah.
Super deep.
But it's just like, I like the graininess of it. It's like,
feels good.
It's thick.
Yeah.
It's thick sand.
It is thick.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the North Shore sand.
Yeah.
Which a lot of Waikiki, the sand's from like all over the place.
Yeah.
It's not actually from there.
Yeah, because they bring it in all the time.
They brought it in, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of erosion?
No, because the tourists need beach.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or erosion, I guess. But like, if there wasn't the hotels and everything, everything would look different.
Okay.
Yeah. The reef would be exposed, but it's all covered with sand and sunscreen, and it's all dead reef.
Yeah. Man, seeing that sand the other day when we went surfing, you just picked up just a mound of plastic. Just the sand is becoming so gnarly.
Down here, in LA.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just in general, they're talking about all these microplastics in the sand, like bringing it to people's awareness. And like now you go down there, you're like, wait, what? And you look at it, you're like, that's not all rocks.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts.
It's gross.
Yeah. It is gross.
You can take a strainer to sand like pretty much anywhere now, especially here. Like just strain it and you'll get plastic. In it. Like doesn't guarantee.
And a fat chunk of tar.
Yeah, that's weird too. Huh? Yeah, that's all over.
Yeah.
And then if you drop, like my phone has the magnetic thing on the back, so if I drop it in the sand, I just get like these, like dangling. Like, I guess it's metal in the sand that like comes out, and it's like will actually like dangle from the magnets, which that's got to be natural. I don't know.
Beats me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm no scientist.
Cali
sand. I don't know. I play volleyball. I just play in the sand.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't study it.
I mean, the sand here is really nice to play.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Can't complain.
Did you play indoor in college though?
Yeah, I played at a small NAIA school, Graceland, over in Iowa.
Oh yeah,
So
that's where Nick went. Nick Costello went there for a year.
oh yeah, he did. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was talking to him when I said I was going there. He's like, "Oh, bro, I went there for a year," and
And then I bailed.
yeah,
I was over it.
so I almost did the same thing. First year, I was like, "Man, I'm out." Like,
Yeah.
just wasn't like. I'd made the decision pretty poorly. Like, it was a poor volleyball decision. I was like far away as possible. Like, I wanted to be just far away, like by myself, away from family, all that, like just to have my own experience.
Yep.
But like, you know, it's just team's not great, and it's a super small town. Like, so everything Nick told me was like, it was a good warning. I should have listened,
like
but I didn't.
cow tipping and
Yeah, no, it's like we're surrounded by Amish people.
You guys be careful talking about your small country towns.
Yeah, true.
True, sorry, Troy.
Bentley, get off the mic. Dog's rubbing up on the mic.
He knows I'm a dog person.
He's in a good spot.
But yeah, so I went there, and then I was gonna leave after my first year. Like, I told the coach, like, hey, I'm gonna transfer. And so I was looking at like either I only had like walk-on offers to D1 schools, and like I could have played, but they gave me money at that school, and I was like, yeah, that's good, I'll take it. So I was gonna move back to Utah with my family, spend a year at a junior college over there called UVU, which is like Casey and all them spent time there too, and then go to BYU after, because in-state tuition to BYU is pretty cheap. It's like, at that point it was like $7,000 a year.
Right.
And then I ended up they gave me more money, so I ended up going back, and like I had met who's now my wife. I met her there, so like we were gonna separate. We were only together for like 7 months at that point.
Yeah.
But that was another reason, and so I don't ever complain about going there or like regret it, because I met my wife there, and I have a lot of really good friends that I met there. But yeah, the volleyball experience wasn't great.
What are you looking for?
Yeah, we had one good year, and I was like, yeah, just a lot of frustration over those 4 years.
Well, when you go from Hawaii, like, because the level of volleyball, Hawaii and SoCal, like, you can't really.
Oh yeah, no, I took 2 guys with me from Hawaii. I took one of my best friends and then one of my teammates. I was like, dude, come on, we need some players, dude. Yeah. And so we did okay, and we actually had my team up until my junior year. We had 4 Hawaiians like on the team, like a couple guys from Big Island,
sick.
Me, my roommate, and then a couple other guys that would like, and they have a steady flow of people from Hawaii going in there.
Yeah, they're always kind of recruiting out there.
Who would have thought Graceland, little school in Iowa, would have a pipeline to Hawaii?
Well, they're smart. The coach just goes out there every year.
Yeah.
Because I remember when he came out and was recruiting Nick.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
He was like having some drinks with the parents and like, you know, schmoozing everyone up.
Because what's the recruiting pitch? Hey, I know you live in paradise.
Yeah.
Well, everyone in Hawaii wants to get off the island. Like, we're looking for another experience because you live on this little rock. So, I mean, just being wanted somewhere, I think, is big. Like, Nick was super small, too. Yeah. He's a setter, but knew he was going to have to either set at JC or play libero. And so it was like they wanted him. And he's an elite volleyball player in terms of like actually playing, but he just wasn't that physical talent that was going to get recruited big. So I'd say that's probably it, right? Like they really want you, and then it's like new experience, a new place, the Midwest. You're like, I don't know what that is. That good, bad? I don't know.
And it's like NAIA, so like they don't have the same restrictions on scholarship as NCAA. So like if the program has money, they have money and they can give it to you, right? So they find so many ways to get you money out there, and so like it's I think that. And like wanting to leave and stuff is a big reason why. But there's another school, Grandview, out there. They have a ton of Hawaiian kids going in too. So like almost every NAIA school we played out there in the Midwest like had a Hawaiian on the team. Interesting. And like so like we all like don't know each other, but you know each other, right? So you walk up like, hey bro, what's up? Like you know, where are you from? And it's like met a couple Kamehameha kids that went to Grandview, which is like an hour away from us. And then it's just it's interesting. It's really interesting.
The landscape of NAIA volleyball. I had no idea. That's a fascinating thing.
Yeah. It's not a bad like league either. Like we had a couple of guys who played pro for a few years and then came back and played. It's like there was one of like Grandview, they had like this 6'8" setter that was on the Brazilian national team that like came over and played and just destroyed everybody. Then they recruited like after I left like 6'9" Cuban kid who was just like this on every block, and it's like. So you play against some good guys, but you also play against some guys who are like a little iffy. But toss up. And we would go to some of the, like we went to Loyola's tournament all the time in Chicago.
Yeah.
We would go to their tournament in preseason, so that's fun. But those teams are just way ahead of you at that point.
Right. Some of the schools that are elite in men's indoor kind of crack me up. Like Lewis is really good.
Yeah.
Loyola Chicago is really good.
Yeah.
And then, but why? Why is there, you know, you look at across the board. I mean, Loyola Chicago's had a decent run in men's hoops recently, but aside from that, you never hear of these schools. It's kind of like baseball. How Rice is really good for some random reason.
It's just like the school that chose to like focus on that sport. And then in the Midwest, it's like how many? There's only so many in the first place. You have one good year or something, and then all of a sudden you're a volleyball school.
Yeah.
And then like they have. Wait, who's the head out there right now? At John Hawks?
I don't know who's the head at Loyola right now.
I think
it was a really tall guy when I was there. I don't know.
No, it's not. I think John Hawks, who was my assistant at SC, and then Spara's assistant at UCLA.
Okay.
I think he's the head there. So like, that's a pretty elite coach.
Yeah.
And so now it's just like now they're just a volleyball school.
Yeah. Yeah. When we played their tournament, that was when they won their back-to-back rings with Jeschke, and actually Caldwell was on that team too. Yeah, I didn't know it. I remember it. I told him we were making fun of him on the sideline because of his hair, and he wore a headband indoors. And I was like, dude, we were making fun of you like heavy on the sideline, bro. For sure. It's like, I'm sorry, dude, but you look so goofy. Like
Cody cracks me up with that hair, because before we were playing in Cape Town, he came up to me and he was like, "Hold on, Trav. How do I look?" He's like 3/4 balding, but he has that like curly patch on top.
So funny.
I was like, "You look phenomenal, Cody."
Yeah. I was so glad that came full circle, and I got to meet him, and like he's super cool, right? So you become good friends with him, and like that was funny. I told him that, so I was like, "Yeah, dude, we were making fun of you like heavy, like heavy."
Until he started bombing balls.
Yeah, well, dude, they didn't even play. Jeschke played like libero against us. Like again, they're just. That team, I mean, they went back to back, right? They were really good for D1, and so they would have destroyed us if they played their full lineup. Jeschke's playing like libero. I think he was hurt at that point too in the season. So like they still, we had a few close sets, but they're just way better than us.
Now Cody's in the Rupe Prime League in India.
Oh, is he back there right now? Nice.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he called me the other day. He's like, "Hey man, I need the partnership scoop on the beach." And I was like, "I mean, not much is happening." I was like, "Where are you? What are you up to?" He's like, "I'm in India." I was like, "Oh, of course you are." Yeah. He signed like a 3-month contract. David Lee's coaching a team.
Yeah, he's like part
owner
of
it.
Yeah,
he's like part owner of a team. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's been kind of the American pipeline to that league.
Yeah.
Because Kyle Friend played in it last year.
Mm-hmm.
Satterfield played in it last year. Bruno.
D. Lee.
And I think Cody might be the only one going back. I think it's just him and D. Lee and a couple college kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cody cracked me up.
Yeah. That's a pretty interesting league. They're doing 3 months?
I think so. Yeah.
Was it always 3 months?
I think he got there in January. It might be 3 months that he's there, 2 months that he's competing.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a month and a half.
If there's a playoffs or something, then it depends on that probably for the last few weeks.
Yeah, and last year they were all bubbled up, so they were just stuck in a hotel the whole time. So stuff. Did you ever want to go pro indoor, or was that never?
I did a little bit, like very briefly. I played my first I moved to Houston because my wife, she graduated a few years before me, and she got a job in Houston. And so I moved there with her once I graduated, and wasn't sure what I was doing. Like I was talking to a few agents. I met Riley Salmon out in Houston, and so he was like plugging me in with people. So I wanted to, but I knew like I was never gonna make great money playing indoors. Like I mean, it's I was a small setter. Like you're not getting a ton of money.
Did you always set? You set at Kalaheo too?
I set at Kalaheo, but because we were public school, there's nobody else could set the ball.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say, how's the team?
Yeah, we were okay.
High school?
We were like second in OIAs, and then I think the furthest we got in the States was like 4th or 5th.
That's pretty good.
It wasn't bad. That was the 1 year we had Nainoa. That guy, he's
a beast.
Yeah, so
he played at UH a little bit.
He played like a year.
Yeah. His brother Kelly was a year older than me, but super good friend.
Yeah,
played outrigger and all that.
Yeah, Kaylee is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, he came up. We all went there like the same year, our sophomore year. Me, Nainoa, Josh Coe, who was our basketball point guard, and a couple other guys. Like we all got there at the same time.
Didn't they live in Waimanalo, the Franks?
No.
I thought they were living in the back of Nalo.
No. Well, they had the
Lo'i or something.
Yeah, so like they had like that little farm back there, but I don't think Kaylee lives there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like he always lived in Hawaii Kai. I don't know if he moved there officially or not.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's still doing that though, Kaylee.
Okay.
I know Nainoa's not. Nainoa is, he's back. He's running like he manages like Hollywood Joe's out there.
Yeah. Super good athletes, so they're big boys.
Like just no workout and just jack.
Could have been like
doesn't work out
college football tight ends kind of athletes.
Yeah. No, he's like to this day he doesn't work out very much. Like he works out a little bit, like lifts here and there, he skates a ton, and he's just like 8-pack, huge chest. And I'm like, bro, how is this possible? Like you don't do anything. Yeah. Maybe he does. Maybe he does more than I know, but I don't know. No, great athletes. So, yeah. He got hurt, so he was a wide receiver for our football team.
Oh, he did play football. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a few football offers.
Oh wow.
But he got there, played his sophomore year, hurt his knee playing football, couldn't play volleyball or basketball that season. Junior year, doesn't get hurt playing football. We win. That was when we took like 4th or 5th in states, whatever, for volleyball. Yeah. And then we won D2 OIAs in states for basketball. Next year, plays football, gets hurt again, and can't play volleyball or basketball again. We're like, dude, this was like our year for volleyball. Dude. We were going to be actually decent. And then he got hurt. I was like, and we told him, I told him like probably 8 times before. So he was like, don't play football. Like, please don't play football. Yeah. Don't do it. He got hurt. Because I knew he wanted to play volleyball. So I
was Micah Ma'a them at Punahou at that time?
Yeah. So Micah.
So they won states probably.
Yeah.
Just like every year.
Yeah. I mean, they just dominate. I mean, it was like we played them. I think it was first round of states we played Punahou.
Tough draw.
Yeah, I mean it was like and that was you switch to 5-setters in states. We played 3-setters all season, and then you switch to 5-setters, which is exhausting when you just go straight there. And so I think we had a few close sets with them, but not close. Like because it was Tui, Kuponofe, Micah Ma setting, and then they always had good liberos, always had good passers.
3 like starting college players.
Yeah, I mean just D1 guys all went to really good schools. It was you're not beating that team. Yeah. And Evan Enriquez got close, like by himself.
Kamehameha, right?
Yeah. We played them like the following year, my senior year. We played them in the first round, and that was a fun game because like Kamehameha, their like strategy with Evan was like set Evan every ball, and that was our strategy. Except I was setting, so if I dug a ball, every ball got set to me.
So there you go.
D balls the whole time, and there was one rally, me and Evan just hit 4 balls back and forth to each other. It was hilarious. Yeah.
He's at Stanford now?
He was at Stanford.
He was.
Yeah,
okay.
So he's my age. So he's done. He's back on the Big Island. He plays a little bit beach now. Like he plays Seaside with Tanner Woods every year.
Were you there when him and Tanner made that crazy run back to the quarters?
I wasn't.
Dude, it was wild.
That was when it overlapped with Atlanta. So like I didn't make the jump over. We stayed in Atlanta for a day. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Seaside, it was probably a 50-some team double elim, and it was the same year. So if you played in the qualifier in Atlanta and you didn't make it, it was hilarious. Half the qualifiers just jetted to the airport and caught a flight to Seaside.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right.
So then the next day was the first day of Seaside. And so Tanner Woods and Evan Enriquez, they draw Evan, Corey, and Logan Weber first round. And Evan and Logan had a bunch of flight troubles. Well, Evan did. They get there like 5 minutes before, and Tanner Woods is just bombing serves. And they take Evan and Logan, I think, to 3, but lose. And if you lose in the first round of a tournament like that, double elim, you have to win like 10 matches to get back to the crossover.
Jeez.
And they just kept winning. And they kept winning. And I think they probably played 6 or 7 matches that first day.
Jeez.
What?
And they ended up losing this barn burner in the third to JM and Garrett Westberg. And I was hoping that they would win. I was like, these guys got to be just dusted.
Right.
But they wore out JM and Garrett really nicely for me and A-Rob at the time. But it was crazy. It was fun watching because I don't know who's from there. Maybe Evan or Tanner lives there now. But they had
Tanner, yeah. But they go back and do camps there every year. Like before Seaside, they do like couple weeks of camps.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they got the fan base.
Yeah. So they told me to come out and work them like this year. They're like, dude,
Yeah.
if you want to come out and coach, we just hang out for a few weeks, play volleyball and coach. Yeah.
Because that fan base, if you have them on your side, it's a huge. I mean, it's home field advantage because it's huge.
Yeah.
And
I've always wanted to play there.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
they're loud.
Yeah. That was a fun tournament. Yeah.
I heard AVP was thinking about trying to put an event there.
I heard the same.
Right?
I know AVP America obviously does it every year, but it's expensive because staying there is. There's only a handful of hotels there,
Right.
and the hotels know when Seaside is. So me and A-Rob stayed in a hotel, one queen bed, and it was $500 a night. And so I think for the AVP to staff an event like that would be pretty tough.
You guys stayed right there?
Right.
Like right next to the beach?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We stayed like a town over. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
A lot of people will stay in Portland, because Portland's like an hour and a half drive, and just make the
we
drive.
were like 15 minutes.
That's a bit far.
Yeah, because Portland hotels, they're like $85, but you don't know what you're gonna get.
No, there's no way I'm driving an hour to a tournament. Yeah. No, we were like 15, 20 minutes away. It was nice though. It was a cool town too.
Yeah.
Like right on the water. It was really awesome.
Yeah. Seaside's very cool though. It's
That was
bucket lister.
For sure.
I've added the Daddy Hane to my bucket list after listening.
That's a bucket lister.
Yeah.
Your and Carly's podcast.
Have you ever played?
Yeah, I played before I left. So when we were still in high school, me and Nainoa played.
Oh, sick.
We actually got put on the same team. Super lucky. I think we lost in like the quarters or something like that. Like,
Did we ever cross paths when you were?
I don't think
younger?
so.
I wouldn't have known.
I don't think so. No, because I think, I mean, when I was like during those summers, like that summer where I really started playing a lot of volleyball, I was playing indoor still. So like we were traveling for nationals or whatever. And then whenever I would play beach, it was generally at Queens.
Right. Yeah.
But like, yeah, I never remembered seeing you there. Like we crossed paths with like Micah Christensen a few times at Outrigger, played with him a little bit. We'd play like Taylor and Trevor in some like those grass events. I played Trevor in like there was a doubles tournament at Outrigger one day.
Okay.
And he was playing with Corey Matsukato.
Yeah.
And we played them. Me
Must
and
have
like
been a while
one of my
ago.
buddies. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was before. I think that was before they started playing on the tour. Like before they started
yeah.
traveling qualifiers and stuff.
Yeah, that's when I was just ahead of them.
Yeah. So Taylor, like when he was coming back playing all those like it was like Forest grass events that we would play during the summers. He was still in college at that point, I think. Like, still at Long Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Crazy.
And so you grew up kind of knowing what the AVP was, which I think is strange for guys. Actually. I think it's more common it's more common now, especially for girls who want to play in college and then go play AVP. Did you know that you'd always wanted to play AVP after you'd kind of gotten experience with it, as a little Grom running around with Casey and your dad?
I think kind of like in the back of my head probably, but again, like you said, there's just no clear path to it, right? So I think most guys go indoor first and run that train until it stops. And then it's like, okay, let's like, oh, AVP's over here, and that's just, it's kind of the crappy reality of it, which like, unfortunately, the girls pipeline is super strong now. Like, I mean, club to college to pros now, like that transition is becoming so seamless for girls. And like the route is there, like girls have now gone through that whole process and like done it. Whereas for guys, it's still like, there's guys who stop playing volleyball in high school and just go straight to beach, right? Yeah. There's like so many different routes that for a kid, there's no clear route, especially when I was graduating high school. It was like, go play indoor first, run it until it's done, and then kind of just started playing beach tournaments. And I was like, oh, yeah, I remember. Like, I want to do this more than that. Like, I got so distracted for a while there.
Same with me.
I was like, dude, I just wasted like 5 years. I could have just done this right away. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So yeah, it hit me quick once I started playing again. I was like, man, I totally forgot. This is like what I want. This is what I like to do. Yeah.
And you started picking it back up when you moved to Houston?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started playing with Steven. So me and Steven Roches went to college together, and so he moved to San Antonio at Graceland.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was my outside there, and then he moved to San Antonio. Yeah, we weren't bad. We were at one point we're like 2 in the nation in the NAIA, and like we could have made a deeper run in playoffs, but bunch of excuses, whatever.
Yeah.
And so he moved to San Antonio. I moved to Houston, and then I moved there, and he's like, hey, dude, let's play this beach tournament, because like he played beach in Kansas City, and so we would play at Graceland whenever it was warm. We would go over to like these little dirt courts that we had over there and just mess around. And so we played a tournament in Houston, a little local open. got freaking worked because we just weren't playing beach at all. It was terrible. I had the worst time. I was so mad. And then start like getting into groups in Houston. Like one of my friends, Cameron, like plugged me into everybody in Houston, like all the groups who were playing. And there's not bad players out there. So I was able to play a lot like out there. Like it was pretty surprising. And they're not bad players. So like got good experience and got to play a lot. And then we went to the Austin qualifier that year, which was 2018.
Okay.
First round, lost to Eric Brannick and
Marty?
No. Who did he play with before that? Proser.
Oh,
Matt,
Pros.
Yeah. Is that the year you were?
That's the year I ended up beating Prosser and Brannick in the third round, too. That was my first time I qualified.
First time qualifying.
Yeah.
So that was...
Yeah, I watched
you were
it.
sick?
Yeah, so that was my first one. Lose first round, and then we were like, okay, cool. And then so we came to Manhattan, lost in the last round to Lev and Jake.
Okay.
And then qualified in Chicago later. And then that was it. And then, ever since then, 19 was my first like season where I went to a lot of qualifiers. And, try to get a full experience. And did okay. I mean, I only qualified for like one event that year. I think I played with D. Lee the first three. We got close in Austin, and then lost first round in New York. And then, just got a Hermosa bid with Joe Hillman, who's a Utah guy too.
That's right. I remember, I think I practiced with you guys the day before Manhattan.
I don't even remember, dude.
I saw you and Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so long ago. I love Joe. Joe's so cool.
He's good, too.
I talked him into playing. He was living in Houston and doesn't play volleyball anymore, like ever, right? And I was like, there's no blockers over there. And I was like, Joe, dude, come on. And so Joe knows my dad. Like, so Joe's also known me since I was like a little kid.
Okay.
And I didn't really know him at all. And so I hear him talking about Utah one day with like, we're in the same volleyball group at a practice one day, or not a practice, but just like playing. And I'm like, dude, you from Utah? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh no, I'm from Utah. He's like, what's your name? And I told him my name, and my name's obviously recognizable anywhere. And he's like, dude, I used to babysit you. And I was like, no way, come block for me. So we would play all the local Texas tournaments, and we won most of them. Like we beat Logan and Christian Honer in the finals of pretty much every one of them. And we got our Hermosa bid through those.
Nice.
Yeah. And so I drug him out to play a few more tournaments. And after that season, he was like, okay, now I'm really done. Shoulders falling off.
Yeah.
Yeah. No practices.
Where in Houston do you guys play?
There's so Third Coast is really popular.
Okay.
Third Coast is like the spot because they have like 12 courts. The sand is actually fairly deep there.
Okay.
And it's just really well maintained. It's clean. There's showers and stuff. But my buddy Ryan Walker, he has a court at his house, like North Houston in Cypress, and it's a nice court. He got lights up on it, like the year before I left, he got lights up there, so we were out there all night, and we would go play there early mornings on the weekends. And Ryan was a really good player too. He would win a lot of like the local Texas tournaments right before I got there, and so we would go to his house or Third Coast. And so like whenever I did training with like my coach, it was at Third Coast because it was close and we could get there like 6 a.m. because I still had a 9 to 5 at that point. So like 6 a.m. trainings, go to work out at lunch, and then go to Ryan's maybe at night.
Full day.
Yeah, full day. Full day.
But I remember I played Ryan and Dave Updegrove.
Yeah.
In maybe the semis or the quarters of a tournament in San Antonio, maybe after an Austin qualifier in 2019.
Oh, you stay and play?
The next day.
Yeah.
And Ryan's awesome.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Yeah. Such a like he's so such chill. A good player, and like he's super chill. Dave's like the complete opposite. Good player too, but like just super like all over the place. And Dave's more so like he wins games because he tries super hard and like plays really hard, Yeah. Dave lives out here. He lives in El Segundo now. Yeah. So he moved out.
Decent golfer.
Decent golf. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, he plays a lot of golf now. That's all he does now. He doesn't play any volleyball. He just plays golf now.
Good for him.
Yeah. So, those guys are awesome, though.
Yeah. So you did the 2019 season. You moved out after 2019 season?
Yeah. So I moved out like right after that season. Our lease at our apartment's up in Houston, and we're about to go month to month. And I kind of just like we had talked about it, me and my wife, and like I told her, I was like, hey, like, you know, I want to play, and like if I want to play, I kind of have to go out there. Like there's nobody for me to play with here.
Yeah.
At this point, you know, I've kind of gotten as far as I can go here, especially like there's no partners, and just like the training's so much better out here. So like, got to go there at some point.
Yeah.
She had been wanting to kind of switch jobs at that point too. So like everything kind of lined up, and probably about 3 weeks before we left, we just made the decision. I was like, let's just go. Like,
nice.
Lease is up. Let's just do it. Like,
Yeah.
There's literally no other time that would be good.
Yeah.
Like, let's just bounce.
Yeah.
And so I have family in Mewhirter, and they let us stay with them. When we moved out late November, and then COVID hits, right? And so we ended up staying there, which was supposed to be like 3 months. We're there for like 6 months. But yeah, they let us crash there the whole time. So I was driving from there to come out here whenever I'd practice out here with you guys.
Okay.
And then we moved to Long Beach, June of 2020. Yeah.
Okay.
And we've been there since.
Nice.
Long Beach is a decent little spot because you're not far from anything.
Yeah.
But you're not. You're
You're
also
close
not
either?
close.
You're not.
to,
Yeah, you're not. I mean, you're at least 35 minutes, right? On
You're,
the short
you're
end.
LA close.
Yeah.
To everything.
Yeah, exactly. You're as close as you get in California. Yeah, you're either right next to it in California, or you're not close.
Yeah.
There's no in between. Yeah. So I was playing in Huntington sometimes too, like down
Yeah.
with like Ed Ratledge, those guys. So like to me, I had no partner, like, you know, nobody I was looking at, talking to at that point. So I was like, that just seemed like the best move for me to be in the middle of everything.
Yeah. Right.
And we also had a friend, like a really good friend who lives there now, and they live like maybe 2 blocks away from us, who
Nice.
like, they're like, dude, you guys should move here. Like, it's cheap, it's super affordable. And
Yeah.
we're coming from Houston, which is like coming to California from Houston is shell shock. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you're like, we paid $1,300 for a really nice 1-bedroom out there, you know, with tons of space, new complex, and that's not going to get you a lot here. So yeah, they were like, move here. And so we went and looked at places and moved there, and yeah, we just really like it there. So
Yeah.
I don't really know if we'll move or not. Makes sense for us to move up here into the South Bay, but now that I'm playing with Paul, it doesn't really make sense. So
Yeah.
Paul's in San Diego still, right?
yeah. So at this point now, I'm like, Costa Mesa, maybe.
I loved living in Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
It was great.
It's a nice area. I like that. Like
Yeah.
that vibe down there. I really like. I like the Long Beach vibe too. Like it's just super chill, really diverse. Like you'll meet so many different people over there. We have really awesome neighbors too that we hang out with a lot. So that's also really nice. But just like the space we get in Long Beach for what we pay versus what we would pay here for a lot less space, it's just like I can't make it yet. Not yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I always think about leaving. God, the things I could have if I don't live here.
Yeah.
But then now I walk down to the water, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, like once you're here though, you're not leaving. Like
It's
I mean,
hard to
once you're
leave
here,
because it's also that same. So it's such a tight knit community, and like everyone's practicing at 16th here.
Yeah.
And like I used to live 4 or 5 miles inland, and it was just completely different social life, especially with a kid and a family. Like I'm not getting the calls anymore to go out at the pier.
Yeah.
So now I can at least like bike down and see everyone and dip back or like go for like a drink or two and come back.
Yeah.
It's the goo, right?
It's the goo. I was wondering if you were going to. That's what Kent Steffes calls the South Bay.
Once you get here, you get stuck.
It's sticky. You can't leave. You try to leave and it just brings you back.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. I mean, it's so nice here. Like I love it here. My wife loves it here. Her company is in El Segundo, so like everything makes sense for us to live here.
Yeah.
We're just like, I mean, we have a nice 2-bedroom in Long Beach with like a garage and 2 parking spaces, and I'm like, dude, we're not getting close to that here for what we pay. Like,
cut off a bedroom and a parking space.
Yeah, it's like no parking, less space. Yeah, let's do it. Totally, that sounds like a great idea. So yeah, that's our main like thing that's holding us back. But I'm sure some point it'll make sense.
Yeah. What's your wife do?
She's so right now she just actually switched into a new role in that company, but she works at a beauty company called Mewhirter.
Okay.
And she was an assistant purchasing manager for them, but she wanted to do like marketing and product development for them. So now she does that. She just started that this month, actually. She's super stoked on it.
Gotcha.
So
cool.
that's
Good
awesome.
For her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Super awesome.
You said you had the 9-to-5 life for a minute?
I did in Houston, dude. Oh, gosh.
The reaction,
yeah.
it didn't look like it.
No. I worked, it was super cool company. And like I'm grateful for them because I was a operations manager down there at a tech company. And so like it was like my job was really easy, but that's also not good. Like I don't like being bored. Like I have to be doing something. Like my brain just constantly goes. And so like at a job like that where one, it's monotonous.
Yeah.
And two, it's like sometimes there wasn't a whole lot of stuff to do for my line that I was managing, right? And so we would help out with other lines, but I was just so bored there. And like all day long, you're just thinking about volleyball. Like my whole life at that point was like, again, train in the morning. At lunchtime, we had a gym, like a really nice gym that they put in at the sales office, which was down the street. So I'd go work out during lunch. And so like it was cool, but like when you're just thinking about volleyball in there all day and like you're just, you're not doing what you want to do, it's like it's tough to be there.
Yeah.
But like the year 2019 when I started going to all the events, obviously if you're playing qualifiers, you have to get out Wednesday.
Right.
And so you only have a certain amount of PTO days at companies like that. And so I had you have 15, which is not enough for a full season.
Right.
And I talked to him. I was like, hey, like I'm trying to go play all these tournaments, like just kind of let him know the spiel, and they were super supportive. And so they just let me peace out when I needed to. And like,
nice.
I was like, not going to complain. I'll do my work. But once it was time to leave and like I got out, I was like, okay, this is much better.
Yeah. Yeah. What's been fun in the lifestyle now? Coaching?
Yeah, so I run a beach club. I started doing that when I moved out here. I kind of walked into it. My one of my best friends and my business partner Cameron, one of his players is from here, and so her dad was running a gym, and they had a beach court there, and they had run a club out of there before, and he was looking for a club director, and he had talked to Cameron, and Cameron told him I moved out here, so I connected with him, and I was running that for the last 2 years. And
is it indoor court?
It was an indoor sand court, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Those are hard to come by.
Yeah.
On a rainy day, we might give you a call.
Well, it's gone now. And it's like super far. It was in Claremont.
For a rainy day, to get out of this rain down here, I'll drive.
Dude. No, it was nice. I mean, it was cool. Like, again, we never had to look at the weather apps ever.
Yeah.
The only downside is it gets dusty, so you had to wet the court every day.
Uh-huh.
But it was nice. I mean, we had like a bunch of good players come through there, and, at kind of the middle of last season, like January or so, last club season, I just was kind of over the partnership. It wasn't really working out for me. And so I decided to pursue some other stuff. And so I partnered with an indoor club this year, Pulse Volleyball Club. They're in Anaheim. They practice at what is the old Anaheim Sports Center.
Right.
It's Open Gym Premier now. But talked to them. I had already had like a really good relationship with them. So I met with the director there. And I was like, hey, like, are you guys interested in starting a beach program? And they're all for it. So started that now, which is what I'm doing now. And so we have 2 travel teams right now that they're doing the AAU circuit. Got Cole Aidnick out there coaching with me, John Schwengel.
Nice.
And then a few other like coaches who are in that area that help out as well. So it's cool. Yeah, I like it. I mean, coaching's fun and gives me the flexibility to travel when I need to because I have coaches there to kind of take care of things when I'm gone. Yeah.
You're about to get busy too.
Oh, dude.
Driving down to San Diego, traveling with Lottie.
I mean, it's gonna be a full year. March. Well, not anymore, but it was looking like it was gonna be super busy. We thought that AVP was gonna be like early, and so it's middle now, which overlaps with an event that we wanted to go to, Tepic, but so it's not as busy now. You're
gonna choose it when the AVPs and volleyball world collides. You'll probably choose AVP
for this one, only because like, one, it's going to be a good chance to like get me some more points, but 2, it's also going to be our first event, and so it's like either we step straight into the gauntlet in a tough challenger qualifier, like we're going to be a low seed, so we're going to play a good team first, and we just both kind of agreed, like we talked about it the other day, just like kind of makes more sense for us to do Miami and get some experience, get me some AVP points, kind of set us up for the year there and like get us going, and then step into the World Tour stuff where we're like, we feel confident that we can, you know, at least compete on the in those qualifiers at the challengers.
Dude, the last like 4 months have been like you struck gold, because not only because Lotman was no points on the World Tour.
None.
Somehow he slid
3 events.
We don't have to. Somehow he slid all the way to the top, past all of us, which I give him so much credit for. And then you pick him up right away.
Dude, I was so
how
stoked.
epic is that?
Yeah. I mean, he that was huge. Like, cause I mean, and he'll tell you like he's
I had
like
someone else call me and tell me, Did you know that that Lotman passed all of you? Like,
dude,
all of us? Yeah, except came into. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like he'll tell you, he's like, I mean, my points are super weighted right now, so like, you know, we're really trying to take advantage of it while we can.
That's smart.
I don't have international points, and so like he's pulling me into
Yeah.
qualifiers, and you know, at that point, it's like we got to go and perform. So that's where it's like even more important of making sure that we're in good form when we go out to them. You know,
and the great thing about his points is they're so back heavy.
Yeah.
Where
true.
You don't have to play if you're not ready. You know, for the Mexicos, you don't have to. You can kind of wait till.
And there won't be a shortage necessarily of events in terms of challengers, right?
Yeah, there's a ton.
Yeah.
And plus, I don't know if you plan.
There's like 2 a month.
Yeah, I don't know if you plan on doing any futures to get it, but there's probably about 15 of those too.
Yeah, luckily with his points, I don't think we'll have to. Like we can go straight to the challenger qualifiers, which is really nice. And I mean, we're gonna sign up for everything, and like maybe like I don't think we're very close to Elite 16 qualifier in terms of points, like his points, but it's one of those things like we could sneak in,
right?
And if we do, like we'll take it, right? And we'll take whatever we can get at that point. So yeah, we can be patient, which is fortunate. And yeah, thanks Paul for picking up the slack here. Thanks for carrying us through this, man. I love this partnership already.
I mean, you can tell too, especially with indoor players, it's almost like a 3-4 year process to really get the feel and like get rid of all your indoor habits.
Yeah.
And it seems like Paul's finally gotten to that point. Yeah. So you're getting the best of Paul Lotman too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No,
obviously, I mean, points wise, but like experience and like.
Yeah,
in terms of his beach game as well.
No, I agree. I think last year was like the first time when you see him play, you're like, that's a beach guy now.
Right.
Yeah. First, like before, there was still that, you know, a little bit of indoor stuff, right? And now it's like, okay, it's a beach guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's playing awesome. We've played a few, like, we played a fours tournament together. The first time I've ever been on a court with him, like on the same side of the net. We played a fours tournament in Texas that Sharp Vision put on.
Yeah.
First time I've ever been on the same side of the court as him, and like, just, I mean, I love the fire that he brings. So I was like, when he called, I was like, it's a nice call to have.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
100%. Yeah. That guy's got a resume.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
No, I mean, it was, I was super stoked on it. And then we practiced a little bit. He because he played all those events late, my last event was like late November. He took like December. We both took December, like just to kind of rest a little bit, right? You're just lifting at that point. We're getting the body ready and just getting refreshed to play another year of volleyball.
Yeah.
So we didn't practice. We practiced still at this point maybe 3 times. So it's we're still just getting back into it and just starting to like have those conversations like, where do you like your sets? Like, you know, and talk about all that stuff. So it's still early, but it's been fun so far.
Yeah. When did he reach out to you?
It was right after those events that he played. So like in December.
Okay.
Oh, no, it was right after, I take it back. It was right after Huntington.
Okay.
So I played with Bill Klinsky in Huntington.
Yeah. And
we beat him and Evan. I think it was like 3rd round or something like that of that event. And me and Bill made the semi of that tournament. But after we played them, and then I had also played Paul and he played with Troy in Laguna, and me and Andy beat him in the 3rd round and the finals of that tournament. And so, like, I just get a text after Huntington, like, hey, dude, I think, you know, I've just seen your progression throughout the last season especially. And, you know, Miles is obviously moving on, playing with Andy. And I'm looking for a guy, and I'd really like to chat more if you have some time. So, yeah, we just started talking then. And, yeah, he took his break throughout December. And obviously it's like, I mean, like with you, like we just don't know where the cards are going to fall that early. You know, like you just don't know where everybody's going quite yet. Like you have inklings, but nothing's ever for sure. You know, there's always big mix-ups. So it's like you want to wait, but you don't want to wait. Like you're like, is the grass going to be greener or is it not? Yeah. So like he's waiting, and I'm like, you know, I'm talking to other guys. Like, you know, me and Bill were talking quite a bit, and then you know it gets to January and. Because he's so high up on the USA list, like he's getting a little bit of pressure to make a decision because they're like, hey, we got to know where you're at. Like, and so about 2 weeks into January, it was like, hey, I'm ready to make a decision and I want to play with you this year. And I was like,
there we go.
sounds good, dude.
Like, I'll think about it.
Yeah, I was like, let me call you back. Somebody told me to. They were like, dude, you should have been like, I'll call you back. I was like, no, I'm not risking that. Dude. No way.
Yeah,
I am not risking that.
hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no
your
way.
reward for beating him 3 times in a row.
I know, right? Yeah, I was like, is that what it takes, man? Just
tired of losing to you.
Just gotta beat people. Yeah.
Yeah, really. That'll do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I feel like that's just beach volleyball 101. If you can't beat the guy and he plays the other position, you're like, I could use you on my team.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm tired of playing against you.
Yeah, for sure. Those are the only. I never got to play. Oh, I played him once with Miles in Denver, and they freaking. I played like one of the worst matches of my life, and they smashed us.
That tournament was stacked.
It was weird. So like me and Pete played the young kids first, the Denver kids first.
The basics.
Brothers, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're good. I mean, they're good players, and they're in Denver. They're at home. Everybody's cheering for them.
Yeah. They know how to play at altitude.
They're not breathing
which
hard.
matters.
Yeah. So like they gave us a tough time in that first round, and we sneak out of it, and then we play Chase and Ed, beat them, and then we play Paul and Miles. And I was like, okay, Paul's not gonna be able to jump serve as much. Like,
Yeah.
we just got to pass the ball and like let's side out. And I just like had one of those games where you just don't feel like you can see anything, and you're just like getting picked up, getting blocked. And it's like, all right, dude, whatever. Worst game of my life. It's gone.
Yeah.
And then we play Andy and Miles next, and played better. But I mean, they obviously went on to win. They were playing well. So yeah, that was 3 for 4. 3 for 4, Paul.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remember that, dude. I didn't even think about it. I got the edge on him now.
There you go.
Are you moving to? Are you playing right side with him?
Yeah, so I played right pretty much all year last year.
Okay.
The only time I switched back to left was with Pete.
Okay.
But even with Pete, I would kind of play. It just kind of depends. Me and Pete, like we play both sides. So like for us, it was just whoever's getting served, wherever you're feeling comfortable that game, like go there. But I played right with Lev all year. Played right with Bill. Played right with Andy.
Okay.
So I was like, before that, I didn't really like. I would kind of get a little tight on the right side. And then I found it at some point during the year and just got really comfortable over there again, which is nice. And so, yeah, he was like, you're cool playing right? I was like, yeah, dude, I've been loving the right lately.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no complaints from me.
Yeah, because I think the first couple times I played you was in practice when you were with Ed. So I just always assumed you were a left side player.
Yeah, no, I preferred the left for like my first few years. Like,
okay.
And I was really good on the left. Like I wasn't bad, but and I wasn't bad on the right, but it's like, you know, when you're switching sides, there's just some things that feel uncomfortable. Like, you know, your spacing is a little different because obviously approach patterns on the left and right are different.
Yeah.
But also vision's a little different on both sides. So like I would go to the right and just feel a little trapped sometimes and not feel like I had my range, and then kind of played just, I guess you just got to play a full season of right side to figure it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I eventually figured it out and got comfortable again over there.
I give so much credit to people who can switch sides. I am so useless on the left. I can't
Really?
I can't see anything because I think kind of like you, where I use my peripherals from the right because it's more of an angled approach to feel out where the open space is.
Right.
But when I'm on the left, I can't feel anything. So I just swing deep seam every time until I get blocked 100 times and switch to the right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my right eye is like how I see like all the information in front of me. That's like what I'm reading stuff through. And so on the left, it's fine because that's facing my setter.
Yeah.
I got the court in front of me. If I keep my head in the right place, I can see block and everything. But when I would go to the right, like I would just turn my head too far and I can't see the set coming in. So I wasn't tracking the ball correctly. Like it was a mess. And then finally,
I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah. So there's
like your right eye, left eye dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's it's an adjustment, and like I know the adjustment to make, but it's
is
still
that in your
tough.
line of approach or just how you're coming in?
So like it's like head
your
angle, just kind of turning this way, but I was going like close to setter and straight or like slightly right, but mainly straight, and then I just started staying a little further away and coming inside to the ball.
outside in.
Yeah. So I would like face a little bit more, but it was mainly like turning my head, and then I would get inside the ball, face back to the line on jump, so I still had line, angle, everything. You know, and I that's where I would regain the range back instead of like facing my body to the angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I still tinker with my my right side approach, but I honestly have never thought about head positioning, like the way that I'm taking a look or something.
Yeah. No, my coach who I worked with in Houston, and he and my friend Cameron, we're all business partners in our company now, but that's a system that he brought to me. And like, it's basically like this, he did this test on me. It's like a physical test, and he took me out for beers. It kind of tricked me. He took me out for beers, and he's like this old white guy. And first time I ever saw him at a volleyball gym, he's like in jeans, and like she was like, dude, this guy does not know what he's talking about. And like does not look like a volleyball player. And I was like, all right, dude. And he's like, yeah, let's go grab a drink, and like I'll talk to you a little bit more about like the system I use and like kind of how it'll help you. And so he took me out for drinks, and he tested me in the middle of this beer garden in Houston. And the testing process is like, it's a physical process. Like he puts you in different postures, and or we put you in different postures, and like kind of just figure out where your body is optimally performing.
He built this for volleyball?
He didn't build it. So there's the guy who created it, his name is Ralph. He's in France. So he's been using it in Europe and France, like in volleyball and in pretty much every other sport that you can get your hands on, golf. Like, and so he gave it to John, and like we're the only people in the US who can use it here, and we're also the only people who know about it. So we just built the company. We launched this month, was like our official launching date. But so like he tests me, and it tells you like all this stuff that's like really specific to you and like how to play. And so he starts taking me out, and like I was doing lessons with him, and that's the first time I've ever done a volleyball lesson. Like when I was in Hawaii, I had no idea what lessons were. It's like we didn't do that. We just went and played.
No one's coached on the beach.
Yeah, like and like we just like I didn't know private lessons were a thing. I was like, people do this? Like you do like one-on-ones? Like what? Like, what is this, dude? It's like we just went to the park. So he starts working with me, and just like 2 practices in, I mean, just like I could see everything changing, and like I did some stuff that I've never done before in a volleyball court, like that's from an attacking perspective. And ever since then, like, we've been using it, and I attribute that to like all of my progression, because it's given me such good direction and gives me like the place to go where I need to find answers, like when things aren't going well, you know.
Oh, trippy. So you moved to a little bit more of an outside in approach on the right.
Yeah, just a little bit, like really, really small. Like it's still, it looks straight
starting
sometimes.
A ball off of the
and then just like balls like kind of my left shoulder, and then I just work it to my right shoulder as I approach. Like it's not far
right. Yeah. It's interesting because like Hayden changed his approach from when I used to play with him. This time he liked to go inside out like a lot, because he wanted me to push it away from the block. But he has some of the best vision of anyone. But you'd think like it coming all the way almost, and he goes in early too. So he's almost coming over his shoulder and then all the way to his right, and he still freaking has the best vision.
Always knows where you are.
I'm not trying to do it like that.
He's got good vision, like really good vision, man. It's crazy.
Like
frustrating sneaky stuff he does. First time I played against him was practice, when like him and Logan first started practicing over here. We got out and practiced with him, me and Lev. And I was like, man, this guy's fucking
quick arm, quick feet. So he can just
short,
kind of
choppy steps.
Be there.
How you doing on time, Lee? I don't want to.
Oh, it's a whoop. I have no idea.
Oh, we're good.
What's your heart rate?
Right. Yeah.
It's actually
like, everybody asked me that with this,
dude,
and I'm like,
it's so funny when
we're
I was
an hour in.
Okay, I was playing it because you got up at 5:30.
Yeah, I mean, I just got to drive. I don't know how far it's going to be. 5:30 was generous. That gives me like quite a bit of time.
Because I was playing Hayden and Kalinsky in a country quota for Chetumal, and I'm there warming up, and Hayden's there warming up, and Bill, who is like the warm-up king, is not there. He's absent, and Hayden looks at me. He's like, "What's the time?" Because I had a whoop on. I said, "Oh, this doesn't tell the time." He's like, "What the fuck's the point of that?"
Of course.
I was like, "Well, it tells your heart rate, all this stuff." And he goes, "But why wouldn't it also tell the time?"
It's a fair point.
It's not a bad. I get it all the time. Like it's not a
small
bag.
little like even those kids watches have the little red
right. Yeah, like just like that. Oh, sorry. Like just like this little part, right? Like just like something. Yeah. It is. I've gotten that question so much, and I'm like, dude, I don't know, but. I don't know. I also kind of like not having anything digital on my arm, like a screen or something. I kind of like it, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you like the whoop?
I like it. So I keep it now. The trainer I work with, I have to input all my whoop data into his his tracking system that he has for me, like my HRV, all that stuff, and he monitors it for me, so I don't have to do any of the interpretation anymore, which is nice. But I just need it for him to have all the data. So yeah.
It was good stuff. I used it for like 3 years, and then I was actually playing against Lev, and he hit it in like the perfect spot where it chinked off one of the clips. And I could have sent it back, and I was like, I've got, 3 years.
Yeah.
I got the data. I understand what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
It was weird. I had like a phantom whoop feeling for a while, and I had a gnarly whoop tan too.
Oh, dude, yeah. This one's nuts. Yeah, it doesn't come off. That's why, like, yeah. So it's my whoop tan is pretty gnarly.
It's not as good as the Tim Brewster tank top tan. That's all time.
Timmy tank top.
Timmy tank top. I like that.
Well, now that you're with Lottie, what's the goal? What are we shooting for?
We talked, and like obviously we're in a good position like both ways, right? So like AVP is like just always going to be something that you want to do, right? Like you want to try and push your limits here domestically, but when you go into like when I think about like Olympic qualification, like obviously that's every volleyball player's goal, but I think every one of us who plays knows how difficult that is. But it's like it's difficult, but everything's hard, and if you go and play all these events, the worst thing you're going to get from it is experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, for us, it's a win-win either way, because we're going to go, win or lose, we're going to get experience, and we're going to kind of see where we're at, But, our goal initially is just like, first year, it's like, okay, let's world champs. Like, see if we can get to world champs, right? And, like, make that the goal for international stuff, because, you got to have something instead of just going to all the events. So, like, let's see if we can get to world champs. And then if you get to world champs, who knows what happens, And so it's like, for me, I'm young enough where it's still, everything is just good experience for me. Like I just want to get out and play, and I just want to keep getting better. And so there's no right or wrong route for me right now. Like as long as I'm playing and getting better, like one, I'm having a blast, but two, I'm progressing, and like that's always fun too. So
and Lotman's probably telling you like, dude, World Tour is really easy. Like I don't know what they're talking about.
He's
it was, I just went to 3 events and now I'm one of the top players in the world.
Guys, come on. You guys are making this look hard for the last few years. No, he's like, he understands like what those events were, like he's a very smart guy.
No,
like
sure,
he's, and so he's on the same page though. He's like, I think, when we talked, like first time we talked or maybe second time, like he's like, what are your goals? And I told him, I was like, well, if I'm on the international tour this year, I want to try and get to world champs. Like, I think that's just like the most immediate thing, and it's like the big one, right? And it's super hard, but nothing's impossible. It's only impossible if you don't go. So like, might as well go, try. If we don't, cool experience.
For sure.
So he was like, I think that's a good goal, and I think that'll give us like, it's a really good measuring stick too. Like once world champs comes, like if you're in, measure yourself against like the best of the best at like the best time. And if you're not, like, okay, you kind of know where you fall now, right? And you know where you're at, and you know, like, what you need to do to get there, or, like, if that's in your realm of possibility, who knows? But I don't yet. I haven't even touched World Tour yet, so.
Yeah.
Sick.
I think one of the things that's differentiated you from a lot of players who just come out or move to California is that you took it like a professional from the first day I met you.
Yeah.
Where you have a coach, you've got your trainer analyzing your whoop data. You just approach it immediately like a professional. Like you're not going out and just sort of goofing around all the time. Like when you come to practice, you're so focused.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why you made such a quick jump.
Yeah.
Why you got picked up by Lottie, who had no shortage of options.
Yeah. No, for me, I would just always ask like questions of like, okay, well, why is that guy doing that? Or like, even with like sponsor stuff, it was like, luckily I have a lot of really good business people in my ear too. So like when it came to sponsors, it was like all of them are telling me like, dude, there's plenty of stuff out there. Like there's plenty of money out there for everybody. Like you don't have to wait until you're good to try and find that type of stuff. Like if you're a good business person, it'll happen. Like it has almost nothing to do with volleyball at that point.
Right.
So then you start to think about everything else. And I've always taken volleyball so seriously. Like in high school, college, almost to a negative where like I'm too serious, right? And like I'm hard on teammates, like you guys aren't working hard. Like I was that person because I was working super hard, and I understand now that like I'm gonna work as hard as I want to work, which is hard, and I'm not gonna make anybody else do what they don't want to do as long as they're going to give me what I need, right? And luckily in beach, it's like you have one other guy. So if he's not cutting it, it's like, you don't worry about that really with the guys like with Paul. Like, you don't have to worry about that. Like, he's going to be in shape. He's going to train. Like, and he's a world-class athlete indoors. Like, he's done it. Like, he's been at like a really high level indoors. So like, not worried about him by any means, and so for me, it's like I've just always taken it so serious that it never made sense for me to not take it seriously. Like, losing first round in qualifiers doesn't matter. Like, still approaching it the same way, because it's just the way it is. It's the only way you can do it, I think. You know?
I mean, and you put in your time, right? Like, you've been going after it for a while. Usually, like, when you put the two together, you end up in a good spot. And right now, you're in a great spot. Like, you basically weren't on the map like a minute ago, and now you're just one of the top teams.
I mean, I still feel like I'm not on the map. I still feel like I'm like, everybody's like, what's your name? I'm like, don't worry about it. I like it like that. Let's keep it low key. So
well, now you're on the podcast.
Now it's done. Now this is when you know you made it, right? This is the beach volleyball like threshold. Right? You got to go through this, or else like, what have you done with your career?
It's your initiation.
And we got another Hawaii guy on tour. I didn't even know how closely we were connected our paths. Crazy.
That's so funny. Like Kailua Hills. Like, that's where I stay when I go back, is Kailua Hills. That's funny.
So he stays in the place, in the town where I was born, basically. My first house and everything.
So now you got an off-season training crew right here.
Dude, exactly.
Perfect.
I hit up Belly Digs, dude. I was hitting him up because I was supposed to go back over Christmas, New Year's.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, I was supposed to go back, and I went to Utah first to see some family there. And I got stuck there because of all the flight cancellations.
Oh, that's right.
So I ended up not making it to Hawaii. My wife, her mom, and her brother, they left from here and they made it out there. So they went and had a great time. And I was just in Utah. Like, I was with my family, so it's all good, but it was freezing.
You're like, you're freezing and they're just chilling.
And I was like looking forward to getting some training in, I was like, I was itching to get back out.
Perfect. More excuse to train out there next off season.
Oh, dude.
December, January, we're pretty much out there the whole time.
Yeah?
Well, second half of January. We come back.
Yeah. Do you just stay out there though, like that month?
Yeah.
Nice.
At least a month.
Yeah.
Try to.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
It's got to be the best like recovery after a season.
Yeah, exactly. I can't go without it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going for a wedding at the beginning of February, and I'm so excited. I'm going a few days early too, just because I missed my.
I love it when you get a little excuse to go back out.
Yeah.
You're like, gotta go. Sorry,
real quick.
It's a really important friend.
Yeah.
Like, who is that?
It's my buddy from high school.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know.
And I have to go 4 days early. Like, I need to be on time.
Yeah. There's like this. They're having this dinner party 4 days before.
Red Zippies,
Zippies,
I have to be there. It's super important. Yeah.
Sick.
Well, is that a sponsor on your hat?
No, this is like Brixton, dude.
Okay.
I bought this at the store. Yeah. No, this is just it's a cool company. Cool hat too.
Well, any sponsors you want to give a shout out before we go?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few that. So last year was like the first year I had like really good sponsor support. I mean, like, I've had others in the past, but like last year was like the first year where, like you said, it feels like you're a pro at that point, right? Like, and so, Matt Schultz, Schultz International, that's the stuff I wear all the time. Like, it's just kind of plastered all over all my stuff. He was super huge. I mean, not just from like a support standpoint, but me and him are also really good friends now, and he's a really, really smart business person. So like, he's helped me a ton outside of volleyball, inside of volleyball, like with my career there, with the stuff I do outside. Like, he's just an ear for me to kind of bounce stuff off. So he's been huge. So Schultz International, that was a really, really good partnership for me to have last year. Chic was another good one. They're a shoe store, and so like I'm a huge sneakerhead. I mean, I got Jordans on right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Huge sneakerhead, and so like I started working with like this lady texts me, and like she needs a trainer for her kids, a volleyball trainer. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so she's like, yeah, come over to our house. Like, we have a gym, and they're in Upland, like over by where I was all the time. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'll come by. Super nice family. She's got 9 boys that play volleyball.
Phew.
And so like I've been training them for like the last like year or so.
9 boys.
Yeah, they're it's insane. They're they're good volleyball players. Like it's like it's strange that like they're fairly good volleyball players too,
So
to
they
have
a
that
whole
many
indoor
kids.
team and then 3 on the bench.
Yeah, so we have two of them are in high school, so they play on a 16U team right now. One plays on a 15U, and then the other ones all play 14U.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's and they're again not bad players.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I started working with her there, and then we just kind of talked a little bit, and she got to know me a little bit more on what I do, and we ended up working out like a partnership last year. And we're talking like we're in talks about what we're gonna do this year, because I'm trying to do a little bit more different stuff than what I'm used to, like not just sponsor social media posts. Like I did a lot of work trying to figure out how I can impact their bottom line, like actually impact it, you know. And so we're having conversations now about what we're gonna do moving forward. But yeah, they were huge last year. And she's also my shoe plug, so that's awesome. Yeah, I have like all the release, like all like the new releases that come out. Like I just text her and she.
That can get
she
expensive, huh?
It can, but like she hooks it up.
There you go.
And like I don't let it take over for sure. Like, you know, it's like, you know, let's pay the bills. Like, okay, we got some lesson money sitting aside. Yeah, like that's yeah. But I'm addicted slightly.
You ever talked to Dave Palm?
No, is he a shoe guy?
Oh man, he is next level.
Really?
Shoe guy. Yeah. So
I see him wearing Jordans all the time. Yeah.
Well, his big thing is he'll try to get, when a shoe's about to drop, he'll try to get it as early as possible. Yeah. And then he'll hold it and sell it.
Oh, he doesn't resell stuff.
He'll sort of like flip shoes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's good business.
Have a fun conversation.
It's good business. Yeah.
There's an Air Jordan movie coming out.
I know. Yeah.
You heard about that?
I did. Yeah.
I heard someone starring in that movie.
Ben Affleck.
Not
starring.
Yeah, dude. I talked to her, and I was like, just working out like, you know, my ideas for what I wanted to do with them moving forward. Obviously, all of it has to do with me wearing cool shoes all the time. That's very important.
I'm gonna get myself a pair.
Yeah. I have. Yeah. My wife's like, she's getting a little like, what is happening? Like, there's just boxes at the house all the time. And, like, I have like the clear like sneaker crates in the closet, like full of shoes. But I can't help it. It's just it's too cool. So like that was like my dream partnership was with them. I was like, this is awesome, dude. Yeah. So shout out to the Sheiks. They're awesome. Whole family, super cool.
Sweet.
We were talking about getting some to go if we get invited to the premiere. My wife's in the movie. She has a small role in the movie. So if we get invited to the premiere, just splurge on some Jordans and wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm picturing like a red carpet. I probably won't even get invited. But that'd be sick.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Get my
that'd be
first
awesome.
pair of Jordans.
Yeah. No, I didn't change. These are the golf ones. I just got off the course with Troy.
Oh, those are golf shoes?
Yeah, these are the golf shoes.
Oh,
what's at the bottom of those?
They're little. They got some tread on them.
Dude, they're the
good.
golf shoes I want.
Yeah, they're the golf ones. So I have these. I have like the all white ones too. Again, it's an issue. There's no reason you need more than one pair of golf shoes, but I have it.
SANDCAST can become addiction therapy as well.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
We can talk about it.
I'll talk about shoes all day. Dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No. Well, where can people follow along your journeys?
Instagram's like pretty much the only one I use. I have a Facebook page, but Instagram's the main one. So
what, Leela?
Leela at Silila Tucker 22. If you search Leela, it's the only guy with sunglasses that pops up. There's a girl who has I wanted like just the at Leela username, which that's impossible to get for almost any name that you want, right?
Yeah.
But I looked it up and it's just like plant lady. And I was like, man, she has a lot of followers. She does. She has a lot of followers. But I was like, dude, come on, man. Like, I wanted to message her and be like, hey, how much for this like username? But no, not worth it. Not worth it. It's just Instagram. Yeah.
And Leela's spelled Lila.
Lila. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right on.
Sweet, dude. Well, congrats on a decent off-season pickup.
Thank you.
And looking forward to watching you guys hit the world tour.
Yeah,
I'm
excited.
Skip as many AVPs as you want.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Thanks for having me on, though, guys. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah.
We'll see you out on
awesome.
the sand.
Yeah.
Maybe train soon.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
Shoots.
Shoots.